Yum. Hello, this is Anya Deva with Elemental Therapy, and today I finally get to do a video on borscht. Borscht is a traditional national soup of Russia, which is very deep red in color, and not because Russians was under communists for 100 years. No, borscht existed way before that. You see, beets was always growing in that land, they're native, so people was always used to eating them. And I'm talking since the ancient Arata civilization, which is older than Sumeria. And then there was ancient tribes, Slavic tribes, they call themselves Rus. And then there was Kievan Russia, and then 1,000 years later, here I am. Hi, everybody. And you might ask me, why are you talking about borscht and how borscht is elementally therapeutic? And in Ayurveda, coming back to Ayurveda, food is the medicine. So, you know, what we eat, that becomes our Annamaya. Annamaya is a food-formed body. That's our physical body. So if you eat garbage or bad food, your body will be sick. If you eat good food from scratch, made with wonderful ingredients, then your body will be healthy and good looking, and you will feel good in your body. That's why I sometimes will add some food videos along with my very esoteric videos, because it doesn't matter how much you meditate or practice, if you don't eat the right food, you're not going to be feeling good. You know, all that practice is going to go to nothing. Like, your body will be sick. So borscht is a food that I myself eat almost like once a week at least, and I love cooking it and it tastes amazing, but it has so much red and purple vegetables that it gives you that rose in your cheeks, that useful glow that you kind of like lost. But don't worry, you will get back that glow if you eat borscht. It's very easy. I'll show you how to cook it right from scratch. So these are basic vegetables that are used in borscht. You see how they're all deep dark and purple, and these beets look like I just pulled them out of my own garden. I'm just kidding, I got them in Walmart, but they are organic. Carrots are organic, so I'm trying to get as much organic produce as possible. And these vegetables, they have natural red pigments, the carotenoids and the beta-cyanines, and they are very good for prevention of cancer and cardiovascular diseases. Also, people who eat beets have high athletic performance. So beets are really good for you. And you see how this beet is kind of still covered in dirt? That's how you want it. You don't want your food to be too processed or handled. I mean, how many fingerprints do you want on your food? All right, so I'm going to use just the two of these beets. And the greens, I'll use them later in soup as like a green ingredient, because they're also very high in rich in nutrients. Just make sure it cleans very well. But I'll put it later because the greens they cook much faster. All right, and then we're gonna just peel the beet. It looks so beautiful. I love the color of it. So just peel it and slice it. And you're going to do the same thing with, you know, all those vegetables. Basically, you all cut them up, slice them up, put them in the pot, and start cooking. So many people ask me, like, I know the beets are superfood, but how do I cook them? Well, make borscht. That's one of the easiest things. You can also roast them together like potatoes and other root vegetables in the oven. That's delicious too. But soups are good because they're like so easy to digest. They're great for digestion. Then they have all those micronutrients that now floating in that you know, in the water of the soup. Okay, now we're just gonna dice it, slice it, and dice it. Very easy, just like that. Just like you would dice pretty much anything. I like to do it in like little thin slices and put it in the pot. And you know, your fingers might get a little bit red, but it's easy to wash. You know, the beets don't stain like as much as turmeric. Like if you cut fresh turmeric, oh, your fingers will be yellow for a couple of days. Beets are not so bad. And eating, of course, like juicing the beets and everything, that's great, but I think it's easier to digest beets when they're cooked. I mean, any raw food, the studies have been done that, you know, it takes more energy to digest raw food than it has of nutritional value, something like this, like more calories. Plus, raw food, it cools your system. It takes the fire from kidneys and everything. So, cooked food is easier to digest. That's why people start cooking food with any civilizations versus just eating raw. Because it brings more nutrients to your body, into the brain, cooked foods. It's more bioavailable. Therefore, you know, we can progress in our development faster. Okay, so 2 beets for this amount is good. So it's going to be nice, rich and thick red. Then another superfood, red pepper. Red peppers are high in vitamin C, but especially in vitamin A, the main anti-aging agent and a strong antioxidant. And it smells delicious. Ooh. Another purple vegetable, a beautiful red cabbage. Just like maybe, I mean, I just want to put like 1/3 of it. I don't want to put too much cabbage because I'm going to put all those greens in there too. But cabbage is like one of the traditional Russian foods, so cabbage is the ingredient. You see, potatoes was brought by Columbus like in Europe just, I don't know, a couple of 100 years ago, so they're not really that traditional, even though, you know, everybody loves them so much. So I'm not even using potatoes in this recipe. I'm going to use, for like a little bit of carbs, I'm going to use some barley. That's really traditional. Oh, no, rye berries. I'm going to use some rye berries. Okay, now this, and I'm not going to use onions because I'm going to do scallions instead. So it's going to be this. This is another known vitamin A source. The soup is just loaded with antioxidants. It's like superfood soup. Super easy superfoods at home any day. And then yet another red vegetable, which is a tomatoes. You can also use like tomato paste to make it real thick, or even like any tomato sauce, but I just use tomatoes. Was brought to Europe just like potatoes, but I'm gonna use them okay for the flavorful broth. Yeah, it blows my mind how ancient this recipe is, really. Like people was cooking it like 1,000 years ago, same thing, except for tomatoes. Garlic and onion is, well, I'm gonna use green onions, but garlic is another ingredient which I don't have right now. You can make a variety of things. Like for example, here I'm gonna put a little bit of oyster mushrooms because oyster mushrooms are such an amazing immune supportive food and everything, and I grew myself. So just for the flavorful broth, I'm gonna use some of that. And you can use other things, whatever you really want. I mean, you can use, some people put apples in it, and some people put purple potatoes in it. And sometimes I add whatever vegetables you want to put in there, as long as it has these basic ingredients, red peppers and beets. That's the main ingredient, beets really. It's a beet soup. But don't just do this Jewish version of borscht where it's just beets and water. I mean, that's boring. So these are all the vegetables. Look how beautiful it is. And now I'm going to add some Kangen water. It's going to be ionized. I cook with ionized water. It's filtered, ionized, alkaline water. Just because ionized water kind of brings the flavor nutrients to the broth, like in a higher rate. It's like really becomes really flavorful, the water. Plus it's filtered. You want to use good water for your soup. Probably don't want to use bottled water because it's full of plastic particles, but nice filtered water is good. And so voila, we start cooking it. We're just gonna put a little bit of salt and maybe some fresh cracked pepper. That spice was used in Slavic countries for a long time because we used to trade with India. For thousands of years we were trading. And a little bit of some, you can put ghee, clarified butter, or I make it kind of really vegan, so I made it with olive oil. And you can make this soup with broth of like a beef broth, like bone soup. So we never make it with chicken. It's always like a bone soup, like with broth with beef bones. And then on that base you can make that soup. But it's more like for winter time. For summertime we just make it really vegan. And it's really thick. It's going to be very satisfying. So that's it. I just put it on high and I'm going to cover up. Oh my god, I forgot one very essential spice. Bay leaf. Huge in Russian cuisine, bay leaf. So, smells delicious, oh god. It smells like Mother Russia. Like maybe 5 of them for this amount. And another spice that I almost forgot, this is super, super, super important, is, if you have it, if you don't have it, it's okay, but it's a dill seeds. Dill seeds. It's really the spice that makes food so like, tastes so like unique and authentic, like, you know, like soy sauce, Asian, right? Dill, like Russian. Bay leaf, all that, very Russian. Okay, that's it. Now we're gonna cover it up. And it's gonna be ready in about 15 minutes. That's it. That's what I love about this. It cooks so fast and dinner is ready in 15 minutes. All right, about 8 minutes later. That soup is pretty much almost ready. We're gonna put that beet greens. And I don't think I'm gonna put any rye berries there because the soup is already so thick. I don't think it needs anything else. So we're gonna cook this for another only like 2-3 minutes just to let the greens cook a little bit, and that's gonna be it. Then we're gonna look how beautiful it is. You know, borscht is krasny. Krasny means red or красивый or beautiful in Russian. Krasny, red or beautiful, and this soup is so beautiful. Look how beautiful it is. I just want to eat it. I think if I'll eat this beautiful soup, I'm gonna make it, it'll make me more beautiful. Okay, 2 minutes later, the soup is ready. Let's move it off the heat. Smells so good. We're gonna garnish it with some fresh scallions. If you have fresh dill or parsley, you can also garnish with those herbs. I didn't have garlic. Garlic is really good for flavor. And that's it. And we serve it with some sour cream. I'll show you how. This is traditionally how we serve the soup, with some sour cream, cold sour cream, and the red soup. Look how beautiful it is. It's so beautiful I can't eat it. No, I have to. It's just a piece of art now. So this is it. The borscht. Ta-ding! So delicious. I can eat this every single day. Of course, I make different versions and variations. That feeds my creativity. Come and try it sometime. Oh no, make it yourself. What do you think about the Slav food?
I love it. It's great. It makes me really express my inner Slav kopnik.